One of the most important parts of this program are the unannounced observational surveys. There are 3 surveys conducted during the program. The first survey, or baseline survey, should be done before the program begins in the fall. The second survey, or mid-survey, should be completed in late winter. The mid-survey must be completed before the enforcement period. The final survey should be completed at the end of the program in April. It is strongly suggested that the final survey be completed in April or the first week of May. This provides a few days in May as a backup if the final survey needs to be rescheduled. The baseline and final surveys are both vital to the local and statewide success of the SAFE program. To fulfill grant funding requirements, both surveys must be completed and submitted to the state coordinator. Failure to complete the program will result in the return of any grant dollars received. The 3 observational surveys should be done in the same manner, and the steps for conducting them are simple. First, it's very important that you, as SAFE Club leaders, don't tell your classmates about any of the surveys. The reason for this is simple. The accuracy of the survey depends on it being as honest as possible. An accurate collection of data can only be attained if your peers are going about their normal routine. If you warn them and they know what days to wear their seatbelt, it will skew the data and give you inaccurate results. Next, pick the days to observe. You should try to conduct the baseline, mid, and final survey 2 days in a row, and always the same 2 days. As an example, if you choose Tuesday and Wednesday for your baseline survey, use Tuesday and Wednesday for all of your surveys. Tuesday and Wednesday or Wednesday and Thursday are the best days to complete the surveys because of holidays, in-service days, etc. Next, choose the observers. There should be 2 student observers, 1 primary and 1 reliability observer, at each parking lot entrance. The primary observer is the leader of each observing team. They will describe the vehicle they are counting and what line of the form they are using.
Red car, line 21.
Decide on the best observer location with your SAFE sponsor. On the day of your survey, your SAFE sponsor will provide each observer with a clipboard and the survey data sheet. Remember, the data sheet can be found on the SAFE website. Be sure to complete the top of the data sheet before you start the survey, and don't forget to specify whether you are the primary or reliability observer. If you use more than 1 data sheet, be sure to fill out the top of each sheet and mark the page number at the bottom of the data sheet. Each survey needs to start 30 minutes before school starts and end 10 minutes after school starts. This means that both observers should be in the parking lot ready to observe 30 minutes before school starts and not leave their observation location until 10 minutes after school starts. There is a proper procedure for filling out the observation sheet. For each observable vehicle that passes, observe the driver and record Y for yes if the driver is belted, or N for no if the driver is not belted. Next, pick one of the following for each driver. P for phone. Select this option if the driver is on a cell phone, with the phone to his or her ear, or obviously talking on a hands-free phone. T for text. Select this option when the driver has a cell phone in hand and is oriented toward the face of the phone or otherwise obviously texting. O for other distractions. Select this option if the driver is in any way exhibiting some behavior that is competing with the road for his or her attention. For example, eating, interacting with the radio, changing a CD, reading a map or book, looking for something dropped, or any other distraction. Record O when, in your judgment, the driver could be momentarily distracted if an emergency situation occurred, delaying their response. N for none. Select this option if the driver appears to be oriented toward the road, nothing in their hands, and seems to be able to react to an emergency situation while driving. Be sure not to leave this blank if the driver is displaying no distractions. Record N for none. If there is a front seat passenger, record their seatbelt usage. Y for yes if the passenger is belted, or N for no if the passenger is not belted. If there is no passenger, leave the passenger belted column blank for that observation. A person is noted as wearing their seatbelt as long as they are wearing it correctly. If someone is wearing it incorrectly, behind their shoulder or under their arm, for example, They should be marked as not wearing their seatbelt. Backseat passengers are not counted for this survey. Only record the seatbelt status for students in the front seat of the vehicle. School bus and delivery truck drivers do not count. During the survey, neither observer should announce to the other whether or not the driver or front seat passenger is wearing a seatbelt. If for some reason you cannot see into a car, for example tinted windows or something obstructing your view, then it's okay to skip a car or even a few cars. It's better to have 100 accurately observed cars than 150 when you guessed at some of them. When you're conducting a survey, it is not appropriate for you to talk to or interact with any driver or passenger. For the duration of this observation, you are not classmates. You are an observer and they are your subjects. Each day, when you have finished your observation, each observer should count the total number of drivers belted, not belted, the number of phone, text, other, and no distractions exhibited by the driver, and the total number of passengers belted and not belted. Record this on the bottom of the data sheet. The bottom of the data sheet should look like this. Remember not to enter 0 on the line asking for the total number of drivers with no distractions, unless all drivers were distracted in some way. Count the actual number of ends circled and enter that total on the summary line. The final step of the survey is to calculate the percent of agreement. To do this, the primary and reliability observers will compare their answers on each line, marking it as an agree if you both have the same answer, or disagree if your answer is different. Once you compare all of your data pages, use this simple formula to calculate your percent of agreement. If your result shows less than 80% agreement, you will need to conduct the observation again. Do not let this formula scare you. Most teens have an agreement percentage in the 90s. After you conduct the second day of observations and count the totals for that day, you will need to again compare your answers and calculate your percent of agreement. You should clip your observations together with the primary observer's data sheet on top and turn them into your sponsor. Remember, the data sheet and analysis spreadsheet are both online. Send the survey results to the state coordinator after each survey is completed. While the survey may be the most complicated part of SAFE, it's only one part of the program. After you conduct the baseline survey, it's time to kick the program off. The SAFE team needs to share the program with the student body. This can be done at an assembly, pep rally, through a school-wide announcement, or any other way you can think of. Remember to do this after the baseline survey. Pledge cards, monthly prizes, and educational activities are also vital parts of the SAFE program. Each month, the SAFE team is responsible for giving all students the opportunity to sign a card pledging to wear their seatbelts every time they're in a vehicle. Every month, collect the cards and draw names for prizes. Students need to re-sign a pledge card each month. At the end of the program, you can combine all of the signed cards from each month of the program and draw a name out for a grand prize winner. Students who have signed the cards every month will have a better chance of winning. If a student is ever issued a citation for not wearing their seatbelt and they have signed a pledge card, their name should be pulled out of the signed pledge cards for that month only. Throw their card away. A few examples of monthly educational activities are making and hanging posters or flyers in the hall that focus on and remind people about traffic safety. Perhaps you could arrange for a public speaker to visit your school, or you could work with local law enforcement and organize a traffic safety presentation. The Kansas Highway Patrol has a tool called the Convincer, which simulates a 5-mile-per-hour car crash. It's possible for them to bring the Convincer to your school or activity. Vince and Larry costumes are available at the Kansas Traffic Safety Resource Office. You can borrow these costumes for up to a week and wear them for an educational activity or presentation. For more ideas, visit the SAFE website. After the mid-survey in January, the fourth component, or the enforcement period, will start. Local law enforcement will conduct an extremely strict period of seatbelt enforcement. They will monitor people arriving and departing your school and will issue citations to anyone not wearing their seatbelt. In April, you will conduct the last observational survey. The final survey is crucial to the local and statewide success of SAFE, so it's very important to complete the final survey. The program will conclude with one final educational activity and prize drawing. You will then be able to share the results of your work with your peers, letting them know how much the seatbelt usage has increased. Over the life of the SAFE program, participating schools have seen positive results. The first year Crawford County participated in SAFE, the average teen seatbelt usage rate was 68%. That number has risen to 89%. The number of schools and states involved with SAFE also continues to increase, as does the average seatbelt use. SAFE has proven to save lives and change behaviors. For more information on the SAFE program, please visit your state SAFE website.